Good afternoon, Dr. Sarath, and welcome to this platform of Vigyan Jyoti program of Department of Science and Technology. Myself, Sanjida Tasmeen Ali. I am Project Associate in Vigyan Jyoti program at NVS headquarters, Noida. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to today's role model talk. We are extremely fortunate to have amongst us Mr. Sarath S. Nair, who is a scientist and engineer F at Biomedical Technology Wing, Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute for Medical Devices and Medical Sciences and Technology. It is an institution of national importance, Government of India. Sir, you would be happy to know that the Vigyan Jyoti program is a remarkable initiative of the Department of Science and Technology, and it is running successfully in collaboration with NVS, which is Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, in the 300 Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya all over the country. This program is a huge step in the direction of empowering girls in STEM field. This program also aims at promoting meritorious girl students in their 9th and 12th standards towards underrepresented areas of STEM. Under the program, we have a diverse array of activities that cater to all dimensions of learning. And through this role model interaction session with you, we aim to generate career awareness pertaining to STEM pathways as well as various interventions taken in STEM field. Dear students, the Sarath Nair is engaged in the research and development of artificial organs and life-saving medical devices. He has a post-graduation in electrical and electronics engineering with a first-rank gold medal from the National Institute of Technology, Calicut, and he has more than 18 years of experience in the field of medical device development. He has previously worked with multinational companies such as GE Healthcare and Larsen & Toubro Limited. He has 16 granted patents and has transferred 8 indigenously developed technologies to various industries, including the left ventricular assist devices, blood flow meters, emergency breathing assist systems, etc. Sir has many national and international publications to his credit and is the recipient of many awards such as INEA, which is International Academy of Engineering, Abdul Kalam Technology Innovation National Fellowship 2023, Best Biomedical Technology Innovation Award 2022, and MAHE Young Scientist Award 2020. He has served as a mentor for Kerala Startup Mission and advisor for the Nidhi Prayas scheme of Government of India. Currently, he is engaged in the research and development of total artificial heart, implantable micro-infusion pump, and various life-saving medical devices. Sir, we are thankful to you for accepting our invitation for this session, and Vigyan Jyoti scholars are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Once again, I welcome you and hand over the session for your interaction.
Thank you very much. I totally appreciate the efforts of DSP and the JNV collective for organizing such talks for our ignited minds, especially girl students, because STEM is an area where we need a lot of advancements and focus so that in a few years' time, India will become a developed country as expected by everyone, our politicians, our management, our government. We would like to have the developed country tag as early as possible. So I request every school who are attending to this particular class to be pay attention and give focus to the science programs, especially one which we are going to conduct now, and also to pay attention to the section which is going to be handled today, where we will be talking a general topic which is going to kind of make an understanding about how an innovation happens in an environment, and how innovation has happened in the world. What are the major innovations which has made path breaking changes in our world? So can we get inspired and ignited with that innovation? We would be learning a little bit of story behind some innovations which are very major innovations, and if possible, get inspired from that and to do big innovations in our country to make it a developed nation as early as possible. Can I get the permission to share my PPT? I didn't get it activated so far.
Sure, sir. You can activate your PPT and share the screen.
Oh, the share is not still active. You
Is
have
it?
to transfer the, yeah.
Um, Yamini, may I request you to kindly check if sir is presenter? Menu ma'am, Yamini, could you please check if sir is presenter or not?
Just checking, Sanjita.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I got a message in the chat box that
Yamini, could you also please check if sir's chat is on or not? Sir, in case your chat is not on, then we can take up the questions on the Q&A box and send it across to you. Um,
in the chat, I got a message that your voice is not audible. That's why I checked.
okay, sir. Okay. You are audible.
Ah, okay. Fine. Yeah. Now the share is active. I just share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. It's full screen, isn't it? Is it full screen now?
Um, there are two slides, sir.
No, it is not full screen, sir.
Yeah, it is not
Yeah.
full.
Okay. Understood. Understood. Now it should be okay. Is it okay? Is it okay now?
There's a blank screen coming, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
it is
Now,
coming, sir.
Oh, right. Okay. So thank you. As we discussed, I would be presenting about, we'll be discussing on where this innovative ideas come from. So what is a peculiar behavior of those people who are innovative in nature. So if we can understand, can these mics be muted?
yes, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
I request everyone to please keep your mic on mute. I request everyone, all the teachers, please make sure that mic is on mute. Till we can hear some voices. Kindly check your mic.
Some JNPs have not switched off their mics yet. Switch off your mics. Um, Yamini, can
Teachers, we request you please switch off your mic and switch on your cameras only.
Yamini, you can put the participants on mute.
Okay, thank you very much. So, today's topic is on to identify what is the peculiar behavior of those people who are innovative. We call them innovative. We call them they create ideas. They have that ideas which change the world. So we would try to understand in the next 1 hour what this behavior which makes somebody innovative enough. Is it only the studies which make us innovative? My perspective is no. We have to understand some behaviors, some characters, some traits in everyone, which has created the world's most famous innovations, which has changed the world, the perspective of the world. As you can see in this particular picture, there is a particular way to do it better. This has been thought by the very famous Thomas Alva Edison, who is one of the greatest inventor of all time, who made almost all the inventions which we kind of get entertained to, we used to. He has been a man of inventions. He is a genius of the Menlo Park. So this is his statement, from where we call this statement as an abbreviated to innovation. So innovation means any method we find to do things better. So that's called innovation. So you find something in your backyard, you find something in your house, you find something in your kitchen. You think that there is a better method of doing it, then we call it as innovation. But do you think that all these innovations come on, it's a serendipity, it comes all of a sudden in a minute? My answer is no. It does not come like that. There are certain things that we have to practice. Some things are there common to almost all these people who have made that innovative ideas and innovations. So if we practice that, if we also have that same thing in our mind from a very younger age, from a very lower classes, then it is highly likely that we also end up like him or end up like very innovative persons in this world. So let's see from the very beginning how it has changed. So we all must have a eureka moment in our life. So this eureka moment, as we might have learned or studied in your classrooms, that the very famous Archimedes, he got a eureka moment and he just jumped out of his bathtub and ran into the king, and then said, "Okay, I got an idea of finding out how a volume of a particular object has to be measured." But if, sorry, yeah, okay. So that was a path-breaking finding by Archimedes on how to measure the volume of an object. But he forgot in no, he was totally mesmerized by his idea and he forgot that he even didn't put the clothes on when he ran and went to the king. So that is the moment you forget about everything when you get that idea. The same is the case for Isaac Newton. Now, Isaac Newton, as the story says, when he was sitting under the apple tree and apple fell on his head, there would have been thousands of coconuts and apples which would have fallen before, but it was Dr. Isaac Newton whom has got an idea after seeing this particular apple that's just fallen on his head, got the eureka moment. He kind of discovered gravity. So this kind of moments happen to everyone, but most of us neglect. And when we neglect, we are losing the opportunity of innovating. But if we can find out that this moment has happened, every day there are chances of innovation. There are chances of making things better. There are chances of making new things. So let us see what has happened to the entire world, all across the world, and how this innovation has begun. It didn't begin with Thomas Alva Edison, or it didn't begin with Isaac Newton or with Archimedes. It began well before, even before the human race existed. The first case of the innovative approach began when the early ancestors of human being, the monkeys or baboons, they thought of finding out food which was scarce at a certain point of history. The food became very scarce. All these monkeys and baboons were hanging on the trees, and it was abandoned at some time. But at particular point of time in the history, maybe lakhs of years before, they found that this grapes and fruits which they were plucking from the trees were not enough to feed them. So something strike on their mind. Okay, what if they come down? What if they come down from the trees? They were always hanging in the trees. That's why their feet and their hands were strong enough to do that, but they were not strong enough to walk on the ground. So they were crumpled. So when they came down to the earth, they had to be like a four pedestals only. So they had to use both their arms and the legs to crawl and walk. So the beginning was to jump down the tree and then walk through the ground. But starting to walk, they identified that their body is not made for that. They were made to fit into the trees between the branches, jump between the branches. But when they started identifying that this is a problem, they find it as an opportunity, and that opportunity they converted into making upright. But there was a reason for doing that. The reason was, and in Africa and all, when they jump down from the trees, the shrubs in the African countries, the savannas, the height of the shrubs or the grasslands were too high for a human or for the early humans, because we were like four pedestal, like two arms and two legs, but the grasslands were too high. So there was a requirement of seeing for a long distance to make sure that there are no predators, make sure that there are no other animals going to come and attack. So that was the reason why they started moving up and then making upright. So this was a very beginning, an innovative approach which the early ancestors have done. So they made a different thinking, and that different thinking has made an action which was followed by the followed immediately followed, and that immediately followed us to create the new species of human beings. But that beginning could only be sustained when we have some momentum of development. The very momentum of development was traced back to 2.5 million years ago, where we had found rock pieces which were cut into certain shapes, and that shapes were used for making hammers, spears, and arrows. Do you think that every stone could be made into this way? No, we could not make every stone into this way. If every stone could be made into this way, we would have easily made now. We are not making it right now. No, we are not making these stone-made hammers or arrows and spears, because these stones have to be identified. These stones are called flint stones. They are very specific genre of stones. When they hit each other, the stones get split into pieces with very sharp edges. So these flint stones are very particular to certain regions, and these flintstones need to be identified. So the one of the next innovation that our human beings, when they started walking on the surface of the earth, was to identify these flintstones. And later, identifying the flintstones, we were able to kill the predators or kill animals. Now the animals' meat has to be cooked to get better digestion, to have no, to keep it for a longer time. We need to cook it. So after many millions of years, it didn't happen on the next day. After many millions of years, our third innovation came. It was identification of the fire, how the fire can be produced. Here also there is a very big debating question. Does identification of fire happen momentous? It happened on a single day with one attempt or a second attempt or a third attempt? The answer is no. The reason is, if that happens in a day or a moment, if any time we also do now, the fire should come. But we could not do fire on a day. No, we cannot simply rub between, as shown in this particular picture. When we rub a type of wood onto another wood or onto another stone, the fire will not come, just like seen in movies. Why? The reason is there needs an innovation on a particular shape, and a particular type of wood has to be selected to make the fire. And it has to be kept in a particular way, and it has to be rubbed in a particular speed to create that heat energy to get the friction converted into heat and later to fire. So all these instances shows that an innovation needs certain kinds of behavior in our mind, behavior in our attitude, so that only a few people, a few types of people can have that finally done. So let's see what was that after that momentum of 2.5 million years ago, which made our human beings so innovative. The main innovative things happened during the acceleration phase, where evidence says that 3,500 years before the Jesus Christ, we have invented the wheel. So wheel, as you know, you have already learned about wheels 300 years before the Mesopotamians have invented the wheel. There were chariots were using certain types of wooden blocks. So these are the earlier inventions which people made. We all know that. But as you can see in this particular picture, those uh, uh, those wheel structures need some particular dimensions, set inner diameter and an outer diameter that has to be calculated. So the innovation also comes with certain mathematical approaches so that we can repeatedly make the same thing again and again. This particular picture shows an archaeologically digged out lamp which was taken from the Harappan civilization. It found that this particular hole here is for lighting the wick for and pouring the oil, and also this particular point here is for understanding whether the oil is spilled out. So when you are pouring the oil is not spilling out. So this type of innovative ideas were there even 3,000, 4,000 years before the Jesus Christ. But for a very long time, we did not have much of innovations. Later, the innovations were found mostly in the 1800s. In 1800s, we saw the major innovation, but is later changing the world. That is a invention of the light bulb. So this light bulb invention didn't happen overnight. One of the major behavior of the inventor, who is Thomas Alva Edison, was obsession towards that invention. He was working day and night in his laboratory. So during his 35 years, he worked at his laboratory. He invented the first successful motion picture, which we are seeing in cameras, the televisions, initial televisions, and the initial motion pictures. And he also invented many kind of music systems, so many inventions. He is now credited with more than 1,800 inventions. He also made the initial battery and also has improved the cement manufacturing technology. So what was his quality which he could create this much of inventions? Because he was mostly obsessed with invention. He was always working in his laboratory. He was trying to find out improvements in whatever he has invented before. So that was his major characteristics, his major behavior. So with that behavior, he was able to invent most of the predecessors of today's inventions. You can see incandescent light bulb. Now we have LED bulbs. Late earlier, there were electric bulbs, incandescent bulbs. We had the phonographs, which are now converted to music systems. We have the films. Now we have digital films. We have kinetoscope. We can see video cameras, which has been developed by him. But this, all these inventions happen, no, in a very rapid phase. After the acceleration phase, he could make one after the other. The innovations just followed because he was so obsessed with the development of new and new technologies. The obsession is one major quality which is required by any scientist or any type of innovator or any human being who want to develop something. But along with that, another major quality is called a prepared mind. A prepared mind means you are already in a state of condition where, given proper inputs, you are able to develop the correct idea. So this particular picture shows a device called atmospheric machine. This atmospheric machine was developed by Thomas Newcomen in 1712. This atmospheric machine was a very early predecessor of our automobile machines. If I ask a question, maybe your professors will be asking the question, who invented steam engine? The answer would be immediately James Watt. But if you don't know, James Watt, he was not the actual person who made the engine.
क्यों बहुत
It
लंबी
was
है?
Thomas Newcomen who invented the machine. Thomas Newcomen found a small problem in this machine, and then he gave that machine to repair to James Watt. And James Watt, he has improved it, and for the improvement, he got a patent, and that improvement later called as steam engine. So James Watt in 1763 he was sent a steam engine to repair. While putting it back to working order, he found that the engine needs more efficiency. It needs to be operated in a better way. Then only we can get more usage out of it. So Watt worked on the idea for several months and eventually produced a steam engine. And that steam engine later propelled the industrial revolution. So in England, immediately after the development of the steam engine, It has been quite commonly used in almost every industries. Earlier, which was being done by animals and human manpower, was later immediately converted into steam engines. So the major quality that we have to understand in the by the James Watt is he was in a prepared state. He was already knowing about certain things which was having low efficiency for the atmospheric pressure, which was at that time common, and he identified that problem and he could solve it. It took some months, but he could solve it, and that solution has made the steam engine, and that later steam engine you become the backbone of all the industries and automobile revolution happen in the world. So let's see another major important invention which you would have learned. So this particular invention is the predecessor of our modern computers. Who invented that? It was by Charles Babbage. So you know that Babbage invented the universal analytical machine. The credit goes to him. So he was a very, very tedious working scientific mind. He continued his effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. He was continuously working on identifying a method and a mechanism for calculating. So, what was the need for such a calculation? In like 300, 400 years before, cotton was one of the major field product in England. So, during the time of early development of UK, United Kingdom, or in England, that time there were a lot of cotton industries in the place called Manchester in United Kingdom or in England. So this cotton industries, there they have equipped a lot of slaves for computing the number of baggages of cotton which they are plucking every day. And also when the cotton comes to the factory, the cotton has to be threaded into threads. So there they had to use their fingers for calculating one, two, three, four, five. Now after 10 fingers, what they do, they have to keep another slave behind him and then do the second calculation 11, 12, 13, 14. So this was the kind of calculations they were using in that during that 300, 400 years back. So that was there till very recently in UK until Charles Babbage identified it as an opportunity. So there, Charles Babbage was a manager in one of the cotton factory. So there he identified that okay, this problem could be solved. So he worked on making a machine, inventing a machine where this calculation can happen automatically. And there he started working on a machine called universal machine. Later, this universal machine got improvement, and finally become one of the computers in a digital world. But earlier, it was the analytical machine, which was his thought was to make it universal so that it can be used for computing any kind of calculations, and that could revolutionize the industrialization in countries. Unfortunately, the sad story of that is Charles Babbage could not make it work. It was 40 years later, his son Henry Babbage, who continuously worked on it. After 40 years of development, this universal analytical machine started working. So here the point that we have to understand is the person who is starting a particular innovative idea may not be able to complete it. So there we need continuity, we need perseverance, we need the patience to work further onto it and improve it. It was his son, Henry Babbage, who made constant work on it, improved on it, and finally identified what was the fault in that particular machine, which did not create proper output. And finally, he could create the best, the correct machine called universal analytical machine. So the quality which I would like to express here is the perseverance or the patience, which is highly required for a innovative mind. Then only we can create new inventions, new ideas will come. New ideas will not give its birth by in a minute or automatically. It should have a prepared mind, and also we should have the patience because one finally it will work, but we have to put our effort continuously. Moving forward, now we have a patient mind. We are having preparedness. We have that knowledge. We are continuously seeking and trying to understand new things so that in when an opportunity comes, we are ready to put our idea into work. Whether that is enough? No. Let us hear another story from the history, which shows another important attitude or a behavior which every a person who want to innovate should have. And that particular quality is called activeness. I would like to invite your attention to this particular lady. And this lady is a genuine scientist. Is now in the Hall of Fame in 2011. She was put in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame means it's a list of people who have given very big path breakthrough in inventions to the human being. So to the survival of the human being, they have been put in the list the top people in the world. So she has been inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2011. So what happened to her? She she was riding a car, and in England, when she was riding a car, it was so frequent that snow falls over the car. When the snow falls over the car, usually what happens till that time was the driver comes out, or the person who is in the car will come out, and they will wipe out the snow from the mirror or from front windshield, so that you can see the obstacle in front of it. So this was happening for a long time. Nobody cared about it. Nobody cared about it until Mary Anderson, this particular lady, found that why this particular person has to always come out and wipe it every time if you can do it from inside. So she invented what is called the car wiper. So Mary Anderson was sitting, she was riding a streetcar and it was snowing. She observed that the streetcar driver had to come out and continuously clean off the windshield. So this immediately struck upon her. So she was so active enough to implement it. She was a lady, but at that time, no, because of our social culture, it was not required by a lady to do all these things. But she immediately became so active, and she came out and then invented one of the very most important feature in our car, that is the car wiper. So the delays due to the periodic cleaning got Anderson wondering if there was some sort of a blade that could clean the windshield without making the driver get out. So this particular windshield here shows that there is a method which the driver itself can wipe the windshield. So that was a very big invention at that time, and she entered the Hall of Fame in 2011. So here the quality that we should possess as an innovator, as an inventor, is we should be active enough. Even though we have a very good idea, even though a problem is being given by the teacher, but we are not so interested to solve it, that will not help us. We have to be very active in doing immediately what comes into your mind. So activeness is a very important quality that as a student we should have. Then next, we are active enough. We are having patience. We have prepared mind. But whether that is enough? No. We should have some sort of risk-taking mindset also to help to get into the system working, to have that innovation working. Think about the scenario. How would have somebody made an aeroplane if he was not having the ability to take risk taking? Nowadays, everyone wonder, even now in 21st century, we wonder when a plane goes above our head. We look onto that plane. Why? Because that is one of the biggest achievement of mankind. But how could somebody make it? What is I usually put this question. What is the maximum height from which you can jump into? You can jump from what height? For me, maybe you can climb over a table and then jump. To another person, you can climb over a compound wall and jump. But if I ask a question, can you jump over the first floor of your building? The answer would be no. Can you jump from the second floor of the building? Definitely you should not jump. The answer is a big no. But for an invention to happen, we should have some kind of a risk-taking mentality also. For those people with certain risk-taking mindset, with all the previous qualities like prepared mind, the obsession on doing things, the perseverance and the patience of getting things done, even with failures, as well as having a pure active mind. If they have a certain amount of risk-taking mind, we should make path-breaking technologies and path-breaking inventions. So let's see what happened in 1900. So we know that the Wright brothers have developed the plane, the first planes. So this was done after so many failures. So all these failures would have been like yeah, immediate falling down to the ground or a crash landing. So this is one of the very rare pictures where the crash landing of the planes has happened in October 10, 1900. So usually when a crash landing or something like this happens in October 10, definitely people will stop it. So the people who have been behind and will, okay, I am done. I am no longer interested to do it. But that was not the case for these gentlemen. So what they did, they again tried it. The next day, on the same day itself, sorry, the next 2 years later, they invented or improved their technology further. On the same day, you can see the date here, October 10, 1900, there was a crash landing. And after 2 years, exactly on the same day, on October 10, 1902, they made another plane. It is called a glider. And in the glider, you can see Wilbur Wright, who was on the left holding, and Orville Wright, who was flying it. So this was this passion towards innovation which prompts this person to come up with great achievement in science and technology. So after 3 months, again, in October 10th, this particular picture shows he has been flying that particular glider in October 10, 1902 in North Carolina, which is in the United States. You can see how height he has been flying. So now they have become confident enough on how to fly it. But still, they have the risk-taking mindset on with all their prepared mind that this is just to be achieved. And after 3 months' time, they have made an aeroplane. This particular aeroplane, the very first pictures you can see of for the aeroplane, this particular aeroplane was tested in December 17, 1903. Orwell Wright, who piloted the glider, also piloted the first powered airplane 20 feet above ground. So 20 feet is approximately 6-story height. It, it's maybe bigger than your school. So the flight actually happened for 12 seconds and it could cover a length of nearly 120 feet. But the conditions there were not so good enough. The condition was, it was like a freezing temperature. It's very cold there. And also the wind speed is nearly 40 kilometer per hour. So this particular plane, with that much of intense, harsh environmental situations, Orwell Wright was able to fly this particular plane. So this would not have happened in the history of science and technology if Orwell Wright and the Wright brothers were not having the capability of taking risk. So in science and engineering, what usually people, especially in our country, what is lacking is we go for safe things. We go for mostly safe approaches. But we should have certain qualities of, or some to some extent, we should also have some calculated risk taking. Otherwise, big feats, great breakthroughs like a plane could not be developed in our country. So one of the major inventions which has changed the entire world was development of a plane, aeroplane, and this was a very first pictures of how it was flown, the risk-taking mindset of what Orwell Wright or the Wright brothers have done to make that happen. Another criteria which is very much required by us is called observation. So this is something that everyone when your teachers would be telling you should have an observation when a problem comes to you should observe your nature, you should observe your surroundings so that they will give you hints on the solutions. It is correct, exactly. We have to look into the surroundings, we have to see our environment so that they will give you hint. When these hints are connected together, we will be able to bring out solutions. So one of the greatest example of how an observation can change the entire ecosystem is shown here. So, digital cameras. So, when the digital cameras were initially developed by a company called Kodak, so the Kodak cameras is the very first kind of a digital camera which has been developed by Kodak company. So these Kodak companies, when they launched this camera into the market, it was women who started purchasing these cameras in all across the world. So women used digital cameras extensively, and what happened finally? They end up filling up their memory. So once the digital camera has been taken so many pictures like 20, 30, 50, 100, 20, 200 pictures, it becomes full. So what to do next? They don't know what to do next. They have to go ahead with putting up another memory card that will be very expensive, or they have to wait for a computer to obtain so that they can transfer the camera images into a computer. But that will take some time because you will not have access to computers. They are desktop computers. They are not like laptops as of now or tablets as of now. It takes some time for them to download the image and then transfer the image and then clean up their camera for using it. So if a person is having good observation, that a person would have an innovative mind to convert this into a very big opportunity of making something great. In fact, from this particular observation, later Kodak itself has made a particular technology called Kodak Easy Share. In the Kodak Easy Share, the Kodak camera can be directly connected to a computer very easily and then transfer the images directly. And that was the earliest method of transferring data, and that was the first example of cloud management. Now, you have a mobile phone, you take a picture, the picture goes to Google Images, and later you can download it and see. There is no way you have a no full memory or no need of emptying your memory and all because everything goes to Google. So this is that predecessor, the Kodak's invention now which has changed into a cloud management. So most of the things are in Google, most of the things are in cloud, we say, because when you say it is in cloud, it has the observation was made like this by Kodak long back. So one major behavior which is required or a characteristics of an innovator is we should have high skills in observation. We should look on to problems, we should understand that and then try to connect our hints together so that later it becomes a very beautiful solution. It may not become an immediate innovation, but in long run that will change the world. That's what we can see in the cloud management. Now, another major behavior is we have got observation now, we have got prepared mind, we have all the qualities of risk taking and active nation. But if we don't have a skill given by a kind of we call God, that is ingenuity. We should have a skill so that certain things are solved in a simple way. We don't go for much complicated and a very complex way of doing things. A very good example of this ingenuity nature has happened in India itself. In India, long back, in Rajasthan and all, Jaipur, Rajasthan, they're all look. The water is very scarce. We don't get water, enough water. So there were no summer season. It's very difficult to walk out, get no even water is very very scarce. So there was a time when drought hit places are there, and the vegetables, even milk, you cannot keep open for a long time. Immediately it will spoil. No, it will get destroyed. Even vegetables you may not be able to keep it for a long time. But having a fridge is a very costly affair. Having a refrigerator is a very very costly affair. So this was struck by a person who was traveling in a bicycle. In that going to the market, he found that most of the vegetables in the house are all getting are damaged. So he thought, what could be done to improve the situation? Okay, immediately the answer came was that you must use a refrigerator, you must use a fridge. But unfortunately, there were no electric supply in that place. So you cannot use a fridge when there is no electric supply. So here comes the ingenuity in preparing a new technology, preparing a new concept. And that was developed by none other than this person, this gentleman. His name is called Munshuk Bhai Prajapati. He has been awarded by APJ Abdul Kalam later. He is a very great inventor. His ingenuity has proved by creating a fridge called Mitti Cool. So this particular fridge is made up of clay, and this clay, when you pour water in it, it gets evaporated. And because of the evaporation, you would have heard about no latent heat of vaporization. With that latent heat of vaporization, it takes away a little bit of heat as well as when it is getting evaporated. That little bit of heat which is taken from this chamber will make the chamber cool. So just like you keep water in a pot and that water will remain cool, this particular Mythical also can create a chamber which is cool enough to keep vegetables for a long time. So this was sold. He made a company out of it, and then Mythical has been sold for so many numbers have been sold in Gujarat and upper part of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Later, Godrej took it, and Godrej, one of the greatest company in refrigeration. Godrej took it, and then they started promoting it. Very few technologies have been discussed in United Nations because certain technologies have got very large impact in humans. So such technologies get discussed in United Nations. Mythicool is one of the technology which has been discussed in United Nations on its ingenuity as well as the impact it creates on the society. So here, one of the biggest quality which we have to see from this particular example is a person who can think in a very different, simple way can create a very big, impactful invention or a technology. That is a biggest example where the missile man of India or president, a former president, one of the greatest inventor and a scientist of our country, himself appreciated Munshi Bhai Prajapati for this invention. So, what I would like to express to you is we have to work on simple solutions, identify that simple solution from the observation that you are getting from your surrounding, get into the simple solutions and try to solve it. Now we have all the major requirements, but do you think that is enough? It may be enough for your first invention, first innovation, first ideas to get fruitful, but you have to constantly upgrade it. But there are a few gentlemen in our world who has done like the exceptions. From 500 crore people all across all across the world, I would pick a few people here to explain what is the effect of skill upgradation. Everyone can you know who is this? Is Mr. A.R. Rahman. He's one of the greatest music director ever produced by our country, or one of the greatest producer of music in the world itself. He's a two times Oscar winner. So what is his peculiarity? To become on the top of the music industry for the last 35 years without having any single music being a flop is not easy. He has been so creative. How is he being so creative? Because he constantly upgrades his skill. And in this particular picture, you can see he is playing a particular device, and you can see that device is not present there. There is no device. This harmonium or this organ or this piano is not present there. Similarly, the drums is not present there. The drums on the both sides are not actually present there. So this particular musician has collaborated with Intel. Intel is one of the greatest microprocessor company, which makes very large, high-end technologies for computation purposes. All the computers in our world are making use of Intel chips inside. You know that. So Intel has collaborated with him to make gesture-based music. That means he has to just keep his fingers moving. In the same way he was being using in the piano, if he uses his fingers moving, then the music will be created. So, but the difficult part is he was trained in the normal pianos. He was trained in a normal organ or a normal drums. But he has to upgrade his understanding, he has to upgrade his skill to make this to happen. And this is one of these concert where he does not use any single instrument, but he makes his full concert of music playing without any instrument. But you may wonder, it may be just one person. No, there are many examples. There is one another person called Yani. He is one of the another greatest musician. This particular person, you can see around no, around 12 pianos are around him. Why is this 12 pianos? Is it required or not? It is the quality that he would like to get from his music. If he has increased, he is not a programmer, he is not a computer scientist, he is not a computer engineer, he's just a musician. But what he has done, he has made programming. He has done the programming. He has done the computer programming in such a way that when he press one key of an organ, when he press one key of a piano, 5 to 6 keyboards will simultaneously play. So in that way, he was able to create world's greatest musicians. So he's one of the greatest musicians in the very recent play in Egypt. He has played in such a way that he abruptly stopped his play and the rest of the music came from International Space Station. So in such a way, he has been upgrading his skills. So this is one example, not from the scientific domain I have put, because it's not only in the science that we need to have the skill upgradation, we need to take it from everywhere. So these people are on the top of the world because they constantly upgrade the skill from wherever they can take it. So to my student, what I would like to tell is it's not only from your classroom learning or only on during this 10th, 11th or 12th or your next course of graduation or post graduation that you have to learn. Please keep in your mind that skill upgradation is required throughout your career, throughout your profession. As long as you are in this world, you have to continuously keep upgrading your skill, then you can be on the top of the world. We have to blend ideas as well. There are many ideas in front of us on solving a problem, but are we able to bring out some major inventions just by getting one idea? No. One classic example from Tamil Nadu is this. They have blended two ideas together to make a motorcycle. No, what they have blend, they have taken a cycle and they have taken a petrol engine based motorcycle, and that has been blended together to create a motorcycle like this. This is very rampant in most of the rural areas in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and all. Because why? Because the distance between two petrol pumps are very large. So you cannot always depend on gasoline or petrol or diesel. You may have to sometimes do your pedaling as well. So the inventors of this have thought, okay, if you don't find a petrol pump, you have to go near a petrol pump, so you will still keep the pedals in it. So certain innovations require blending of two ideas together. It's not only one idea always bring solutions. So here the key point here is certain or some of the times think about mixing ideas together so that you will get better innovations. Albert Einstein is one of the greatest scientists ever lived on the world. So one of the major quality of this particular scientist is intuitive in nature. Even before identifying a black hole, 100 years before, using his mind power, he was having that intuitiveness of telling that with the extreme high gravity of the black holes, even light cannot come out of it. After 100 years, in 2016, this particular picture has been taken by the one of the great observatory. This picture shows that there can be no light in the center, which means that the black holes even take light and does not emit light back. 100 years before, this particular scientist was able to give that information. From where did he get that? Because he was having that constant dreaming of scientific things. So when he keep on dreaming about scientific things, that has prepared his mind to come up with new theories, new methods, and that methods in if when he placed in a proper way, we call him as an intuitive mind. He was having the intuition to come up with a solution. In for this particular problem, this solution would definitely work. So that was proven later after 100 years. So for our kids also, we have to cultivate that quality of an intuition, getting an intuitive mind, where our gut feeling of this would have been the best solution for this particular problem. So keep practicing it. We can also come up with better ideas, better results. Can anyone guess what is this? This particular picture is the reason for the very first Nobel Prize. This is the picture of the arm with a ring of wife of William Röntgen. William Röntgen got the first Nobel Prize in physics in 1905, and that was for the invention of X-rays. This is the picture of his wife, where he asked the wife to keep over a photographic plate, and he passed X-ray over it, and he found that it was not intentional, but he found that X-ray passes through skin but does not pass through the bone. So if X-ray could not pass through bone, immediately a principal of a school nearby his laboratory, William Röntgen, went and took help from him. And the principal got a team of a few students from his school and then started preparing a machine with this X-ray technology. And then that demonstrated that it could be used as a medical device, as a medical equipment. So in 1905, this particular activity happened in less than 6 weeks' time. William Röntgen immediately went to a school near to in his town, got discussed with the principal because at that time, no, teachers were the top. They went to the now also teachers are on the top. Immediately they went to the school, discussed the matter with the principal. Principal got a team of people, teachers, students put together. They started working. So with that work, after 6 weeks, 1.5 months time, they made the first X-ray machine. Here you can see German physics professor William Conrad Röntgen taking an X-ray image with the early apparatus which they have made with the help of that principal. So later in 1905, he received the first Nobel Prize in physics. But the point here is, immediately after that development, you could make many X-ray machines that could be used in the hospitals. So many major problems were identified, bones were repaired, and it becomes a standard care of treatment. It all came from the students. The students could help the William Röntgen in preparing machines. And now, when you go to a hospital, you can see very sophisticated, complex X-ray machines. They are one of the most complex machines in the world now, X-ray machines. But here, the main point what I want to discuss is this is what we have been learned in the classroom. Our textbook says that William Röntgen got the Nobel Prize. First first Nobel Prize was for the X-ray detection of the development of X-ray machines and all. But if you look into another aspect of a scientist, which we all should have, another aspect of an innovator is selflessness. Always, we may not be, uh, blessed to create the profit or the credit out of our invention. You may be knowing this gentleman called Nicholas Tesla. In his name now there is a very big company called Tesla. Elon Musk is the CEO of that particular company. So this particular person called Nicholas Tesla, he is a very big inventor. He worked along with Edison as an assistant. So whatever qualities Edison was having, he was able to understand the qualities of Edison. He also started making things, and he was having one of so many inventions. And the motor, which we all use now, your fans in your classroom now is having a motor which is made by Tesla, Nikola Tesla. Your pumps in your houses, most of the electrical equipments in your house, it is Nikola Tesla who invented it. So Nikola Tesla is having a particular another quality called selflessness. It becomes very evident, which is very much required for everyone. Even when you enter into this science and engineering technology stream where we innovate and create ideas, some of our ideas finally get credited to others. So we should have that selfless nature also. Otherwise, we'll get depressed in it, and then we may have no, we'll get flown away with that. So what we have to at that time think about is Nikola Tesla, because it was not William Röntgen, in fact, who made the first X-ray. This is the very first X-ray of human. It's a very rare picture. 1 year before William Röntgen discovered X-ray in 1895. So this picture was taken in 1894. But Nikola Tesla didn't get the Nobel Prize in 1901. But this particular X-ray, he sent this to William Röntgen. Even William Röntgen has replied with another X-ray film, X-ray of the wife's hands picture, stating that you are a genuine person, ingenuity and selflessness is there, your quality. So this Nikola Tesla's X-ray machine, how where it was used, as seen in this particular picture, it was used in shoe markets where you may be able to use this machine to see whether you can fit your shoes are properly fit or not. So you can see the spikes on the shoes and the shoelaces and all properly. So this was become a very big business opportunity in the markets, shoe markets in America. But at the same time, William Röntgen put it on a medical field. So when it was put on a medical field, it became so popular. This was also very popular, but because of a very big fire in his laboratory, Nikola Tesla's invention and innovation could not get popularized. So what are the various qualities which we have seen? All these qualities have to come from you inside. So in a very simple manner, if I ask the question from where do the innovation comes from, the innovation comes from inside you. There are some key principles that we have to always look into. We have to look into opportunities in every possible situations. Even in your worst situation, think about some opportunity where you can attempt, where you can put your ideas into work. And at the every effort should be put to make it simple. Don't make it complex. It should be very, very, very simple. So the key to success in innovation is make it very, very, very simple and think and act flexibly. You should think very fast, very rapid. No, you should have that activeness, just like Mary Anderson. You should not wait for things to happen. You have to immediately you do. Put your hands into work immediately. Then things will come in place. So finally, follow your heart. Everyone will have some reason for doing things. For innovation, also there are some reasons. So you follow your heart, that definitely the success will follow to you. Your innovation will come automatically. Your ideas will come into place. Finally, when you have everything from the historical perspective, from the quality of your, from the various scientists which we have seen, if you don't have that experimenting mind, it will not come. So my talk will not be complete if I don't put an example from your own place, from your own kind of people. I like to put this example here. This is a stapler. Now, everyone uses it daily. As a kid, as a student, school-going student, we make use of it. So why is this talk very important? This talk is very important because you have got a very big chance or a very big opportunity in front of you, but we are not knowing it. You don't know how good enough you are. You don't know what are the opportunities in front of us, and will it come to us? Some good people, some lucky people have got these opportunities, as I have mentioned earlier. My answer is no. It's not for only the lucky persons who always do it. Think about the example of this particular thing, stapler. There was a girl in Pune. She was stapling the papers for his assignment to the school recently. This happened in 2011, 2011. She was studying in class 10th or in class 11th. When she was putting the staplers in her assignment sheet, in between the staplers got empty. Suddenly, immediately she went to her father and said, "Father, my stapler got empty. I need to refill it. Please go and buy some stapler bits." Father became very angry. He asked, "Oh no, why you should be very careful? Why didn't you check whether your staplers are good, whether it is full or why it is not?" You may relate it to your own family. This happens every day in your family, not only for staplers, for many other things, right? So this was an opportunity given to this particular girl named Ankita Nagarkar. She is from Pune. Ankita Nagarkar, what she thought, her father gave her an opportunity. No, Ankita, what you have to do? You have to find an opportunity to make it better. Think about some alternate solution. It will definitely work. I will try to give you one stapler this time, but I don't want you to lose your no stapler in the middle of a major assignment. You have to tell me much earlier how or what it is going to happen. So you should plan accordingly. So this was the opportunity given by her father to Ankita Nagarkar. So Ankita Nagarkar thought about it, and finally she made an innovative technology. In the innovative technology, what she did was, this is a picture which she has drawn and sent to National Innovation Foundation run by Government of India. So in the stapler, in the last row, three, four staplers, she made a marking, just simple red marking, three, four numbers she marked. Now, when she stapler, if the last five pin comes, the stapler will have the red marking. So that is an early warning method, an early detection method. Now she knows, okay, now the red pin has come, which means that I have only five more. I have only 10 more. So within this 10 more, I have to be very careful. I should not lose any of the staplers as well as I have to buy as early as possible. Maybe tomorrow when I go to market, I have to get one stapler pin also. So this is the identification of and getting empty of the stapler. So this simple innovation, this is called innovation. She didn't make a stapler, she didn't make a stapler pin, but simply put a marking over the stapler, and that stapler has improved the workability. It has improved the quality of that particular equipment. What happened next? She applied to the Ignite program and she received the National Ignite Award from none other than the great scientist of our motherland, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So her name is Ankita Nagarkar. She got the National Ignite Award from Government of India in 2011 or 12 from Abdul Kalam. So where is she now? So she is having all these qualities of an innovator. See, she took a problem which she faced, immediately converted, found an opportunity because her father gave an opportunity. She worked on it, relentlessly worked on it, and finally came up with a simple solution, which I have explained to you, which has been done by all the other previous scientists. So all the scientists which I have told you, like the Wright brothers, that Nikola Tesla, Thomas Alva Edison, Mary Anderson, the Nobel Prize winner Rontgen, Einstein, everyone was having some characteristics, some qualities. So those qualities were present in Ankita Nagarkar as well. It will be present in each and every one of you sitting in front of me. So you have now the opportunity. Think about it. Now, where is this Ankita Nagarkar now? Immediately after her innovation, her mother wrote a book about her, My Ankita's Innovation, My Ankita Cha Shot. So this is her book in Marathi that become very widespread usage. I request those people in Maharashtra and all could take this book and for inspiration can be put in the library as well for somebody to read it. Now where is she? She is a very senior engineer in Amazon, in one of the greatest company in the world now. And you can see her current profile. Her first award was a National Ignite Award at the hands from the hands of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. After that, her name recorded in Limca Book of Records. She has 10 patents now. She has delivered more than 600 lectures on innovation in various schools, colleges, and companies, given interviews to TV channels, radios, and newspapers. 78 awards she has received. And also, she is a social worker, chief guest in various science exhibitions, and moreover, she is a Miss India 2019 as well. Okay, so here, what I would like to express to you is there are so many areas which we need attention to. We have to identify that area and then bring your efforts into creating solutions. If Ankita Nagarkar can do that, definitely at an age of 10th standard or an 11th standard, she could do this. I believe each one of us can do that. Particularly saying in the field of medical device where I'm working, there are so many problems that you have to attempt to. We know that every small disease what we find in our locality needs a solution. So many people are dying in our country. We could improve their health. You need to come into the science stream, put solutions to those problems and then make it better. There are geriatric care where old age people need your support. They have movement disorders. You have to bring innovative solutions. It's not Nobel Prize winning solutions, but innovative solutions so that we can easily make certain solutions to make their body movements controlled. So movement disorders are some areas where you can work on to so that it can help a large population called elderly population. There are so many people around us who are diabetic, who are having disability, who are having cancer. So they're all like us only. They are living around us, they are living along with us, but they are having some other sort of pain and inability. So in what way we can help them? It's not always the medications will help them. It's not the medicines which are going to cure their diseases. It's a support from our science and engineering solutions which help them to do day-to-day activities. So simple things which we can make can help them relieve from their problems. So there are so many issues which I request each one of you has to work on to. So with this, I would like to finish my talk. If there is any questions, I would be happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was wonderful listening to you. We were all enraptured with your presentation and the stories that you have narrated to our students. I'm sure they must have been enlightened and inspired by these stories of innovations. I would like to request any student, if any JNV has having some question, they may please unmute their mic and ask their query to sir. Students, you can unmute your mic and ask your question to Sarath sir. Meenu ma'am, if you can please help in coordinating. If there is any hand raised, could you please call out the JNV?
Yeah, sure, Sanjita.
Yeah.
So children, please grab the opportunity if you want to be an innovator. Sir has rightly explained and explained how we can do the innovations. So you can also grab the opportunity for asking the questions and how to be an any questions from any school. You can write your questions even if you don't want to ask. You can write your questions in the chat box. We can take the questions.
Miss Akshita Nunia, Anjali Sharma, Anu Varsha, Chainika Hazarika, JNV Ambala, JNV Anand, JNV Kamrup, JNV West Singhbhum. Come on, students, you have this one.
There is one question in the chat. Please tell me how we can do publicity of any ideas or innovation. Very good question. I think Dr. Meenu Singh would be better in answering this. To me, I would say one platform is available which is being developed by the principal scientific advisor of our country called Agni. Am I right?
Yeah.
Dr. Yeah. So there is a platform called Agni platform. So this Agni platform give you an opportunity to showcase your ideas, your technology. For the students, there is a program called Inspire by DST. So through the DST Inspire program, you can put forth your concepts through your teachers. And the Inspire program is a multi-level competition where your first level you will be awarded with a prize of 10,000 rupees. And this 10,000 rupees can be used for making your models. And after that, your second level of competition comes where you go and show to your in a different platform, show to the experts, and then experts evaluate it and then go to the next level. Finally, your Inspire awardee, whatever has been finally selected, go to Delhi and get the award. So in many ways, your technology gets the publicity. So APNI is one program where you can publicly showcase your technology. Second one is a DST Inspire program.
Inspire. Right.
Yeah, Inspire program. So these are the two major things. And there are certain avenues called hackathons. So some universities and maybe Indian Institute of Technologies, IITs, colleges, and certain incubators, they conduct programs called hackathons. So in the hackathons, they invite ideas where we can go with your product and then showcase to them. So hackathon will have their own websites. Through the website they will give the publicity of your product, and even they will give you opportunity to start companies called startup companies. You can later commercialize your product, go to the market. So these are the various ways of publicizing your innovation. So the next question is, are there any contests conducted for innovations? Definitely, there are so many events being conducted by Government of India and also by many organizations. There is a Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, IIT Bombay. IIT Bombay has got an incubator called BETIC, BETIC. So BETIC, they regularly conducts programs where they call students all across the country, and in that particular program, they will be allowed to come with ideas in a week program. It's a week program. In a week program, they will be training the students to how to convert their ideas into solutions, into products, and later they'll be given an opportunity to showcase the product also. So that is one competition. The another competition, most of the universities or most of the colleges conduct annual meets. Annual meets will have exhibitions. They will be doing that. So then the third thing is ISRO, they have a program called UVICA. Okay, so ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, they have a program called UVICA. If you are a winner of any of the national level competition, even it can be a sports competition, if you are a winner of any of the national level competition, then you can participate in the UVICA program. So in the UVICA program, it's like a 1 week program or a 2 weeks program where you go and attend the program and then you get a chance to compete with your peers all across the country. And then another question was about, uh, sir, please tell me some important topics about X-ray. Uh, they are used in 12th board exam. Very nice question. Um, what should I tell about X-ray? No, X-ray, I just gave you a story about X-ray. Um, if you have anything special agenda, then we can have a class on X-ray separately. Later, your school can arrange for a class about medical imaging, especially on X-rays, how X-rays are produced, how X-ray machines work, how X-rays are very basic technology now. X-rays have been now expanded to computer tomography called CT. CT, that is one of the advancement in X-ray. And then even CT has now changed into non-X-ray technology called MRIs, magnetic resonance imaging. And then MRI has also expanded to another technology called PET, positive emission tomography. That's another technology in the medical imaging. And all these technologies are high-end digital computations are required. CT, PET and MRI, all those things are of high-end digital technology. Whereas a conventional X-ray, where you go to hospital, take an X-ray, they are of analog. They're not digital. They're simple methods. So as I have shown, like it is 120-year-old technology now. So many advancement has come in the X-ray. How can we get a patent for innovations? Yeah, a very good question. Once you have an idea, this idea, if you think that your idea works as a potential of converting your idea into a product, okay, you have to first confirm that. Your idea should have some ways of capturing the market. So that any idea which is having three qualities. So first quality, it is called novelty. So it should be new. It should be new. The second thing is called, it is inventive. Inventive means nobody else has made it. That's called inventive. So everything new, you cannot say that it is inventive because some may be new to you, but not new to the world. People would have already made it. So if it is novel, if it is inventive, these are the two qualities. And the third quality is called marketability. That means it is having some industrial use. If these three qualities are there for your idea, then you can approach Government of India for getting a patent for your idea. So this patent, to get a patent, you need not have to make the product in the beginning. You can write a note about your idea, and then you can ask your principal or teacher to communicate with an office of the Government of India called Indian Patent Office. So Indian Patent Office, DST has got a portal for that. DST also will help you in through your JNV consortium. You can approach to DST. Madam can also help you. The DST through the DST portal, you can approach the Indian Patent Office to get a patent for your idea. And this particular I think is called provisional patent. So you will get one more year now. Within this 1 year, you have to give the complete product. You have to make the complete product and then complete technology and give the details to the patent office. Then there is a form. You fill up the form. The form contains all the information recorded in your product, and you have to give some reasons of why it is new. So you should also understand what others have made. What's the difference between that and your idea? You have to make it right in such a way, and later you have to make your concepts very specifically. You have to write, this is different, this is something what is present in my idea, like that you have to write. And this document has been given to the Indian Patent Office. The Indian Patent Office will study it. Within 1.5 years they will put it in the public domain. After that, it will take a few years. In that time, they will review and see all across the world, the entire world, whether your idea has been done by anybody else. If nobody else has done your idea, you will get the patent. This is how a patent is being issued to a person. How can we get, okay, that we have seen. What is the difference between intuitive mind and a rational mind? Very good question. It's a kind of a literary doubt. But in a scientific perspective, intuitive mind means there is a gut, we say that there is a gut feeling. Something, there is a little chance of, no, there is no proof at the moment. There is no scientific proof that this is the reason why it is happening. But you are postulating, you are giving a theoretical explanation that this is the way it would have happened. So if you have that explanation in your mind, then we call that state of mind as an intuitive mind. So a person with an intuitive mind is mostly in a kind of having a kind of a dreaming ability. They will have right brain working. They'll have a creative concepts for most of the things. So they will anticipate well before something happens. So it's called an intuitive mind. Whereas in the case of a rational mind, they would be considering many reasons of why it is not like that. So in an intuitive mind, may not be thinking like that. So but a rational mind would be thinking of all the possible reasons of no, this is not happening. This is not the reason why it is happening. So this is the reason why it is not happening. So this is called a rational thinking. You place you take into consideration many factors in your thought process. That's called a rational way of thinking. Whereas an intuitive mind, you're just keeping things open. You you're in a dream state of mind, and you think and then you tell, okay, this would have been the reason why it is happening. And later, a scientific proofs have to made for that. You know, the main scientific experiments in the world were to prove the intuitive minds. So Einstein's mind was there, Stephen Hawking's minds were there, who told that there would have been a black hole somewhere in this universe. The biggest experiment in the world has happened to prove that it is there. So one of the biggest experiment was development of a James Webb telescope. Before that, it was Hubble telescope. So this Hubble telescope, James Webb telescope, they were all sent with, James Webb telescope was sent at like 45,000 crore rupees. So this scientific experiment took around, 15 to 20 years. It about 170, 180 countries participated in that event, in that particular experiment. So it was just to prove that there is a black hole. So the theory and mathematics proves that there is a black hole. We have to just see it. With the scientific experimentation, we have proved it. Similarly, you might have learned this experiment called Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, Geneva. So this Large Hadron Collider, this is one of the second largest experiment happened. That is just to prove another intuitive statement called there is a particle called God particle or Higgs boson. So this scientific experiment was just to prove that this particle is present, and they have later found. So almost all the scientific experimentation is mostly to prove the concepts of which has come out from the intuitive mind. Tell us something more about black hole. I just told. Uh, okay, so I think that's it. Anything else?
Thank you, sir, for taking up the questions and of the students. Children, if you are having any further query, you can just write a mail to us, posting your query. We will take it up, like we will send a mail to sir and for further to answer the queries. So now I will like to request Sanjida to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Minu ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, Sanjida.
Thank you. So on behalf of Department of Science and Technology and Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, it is my honor to propose a vote of thanks to this entire gathering of today's role model interaction with Mr. Sarath S. Nair, scientist and engineer F at Institute of National Importance of India. So at the very outset, I thank our resource person, Mr. Sarath S. Nair, sir, who, despite his busy schedule, has accepted our invitation to deliver the role model talk to the Vigyan Jyoti scholars. We are really thankful to you, sir, for enlightening our students with your knowledge and your presence. We are grateful to you for guiding and motivating students, especially by narrating to them the various inventions and innovations that have occurred throughout history in India and in the world. You have shown that how simple ideas and the zeal to think about solutions to daily problems, identifying the potential to convert one's idea into product, that is acquiring a patent, which requires three essential features: novelty, inventiveness, and marketability. And you have shown how capitalizing on one's own characteristics, various individuals throughout history have shown that how capitalizing on one's own characteristics can create innovations beyond our imagination. You have also apprised the students about the DST Inspire program, Agni, Yuvika program, hackathons, startup companies, and how to publicize the innovations and make them tangible and useful to the society and industry. Hearty thanks to you, sir. I would also like to thank the students, our Vigyan Jyoti scholars, and the teachers and principals of JNV and associate schools for their active participation in the session and for posting their queries. Thank you, one and all. and wish you all a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. If there is any further question, we shall email it to you, sir. Thank you for your time once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, DST and JNV, for arranging this.
We hope to see you in future sessions again, sir. Good day to you.
Definitely. Definitely.